I want to talk for a moment about some of the things that I will be showing you, and yet the forms that you do now are not compliant. They don't do things in yang style that you may or may not be interested in doing if you do our form. Since I used to do other forms, I can speak to this quite comfortably and don't feel like I'm talking out of turn. One of the things with the other forms, yang style particularly, they do not teach you about hollows. So they have a flat foot and they have flat here. So that when you push from the back foot, you're told, push from the back foot. Push. Okay, first of all, your knee gets straightened, which we don't want, and your hand bends. There's no way, without keeping the hollow, that you get all of these things to work in a circular manner. When we push, we actually pull from the front and sink the back foot. And then our hand is turning. Basically, this is a martial art form. All Tai Chi is really martial art. Somebody's grabbing you, you just turn, and then you've got them all tied up. So that's why there's an awful lot of turning, what they call turning the inside bones. They don't do any of turning the inside bones at all. So everything is, the whole arm is working. So there's no circle here, no arm qua being used, and the elbows are sticking out a lot of times. You want the elbows over the knees. So they are doing things, straightening the back knee. All right. I made a list. I want to make sure I got it right. All right, so I'll go back a little further to make sure you catch my toes. We used to do this, and we prided ourselves, and yet the whole time I used to think, something's not right about this. You would sit back and still have a flat foot, so this knee would be straight. You would lift your toe, which was not very good for balance. That's the first thing. So you would lift your toe, and everything became stiff. All your joints became stiff. And then we would turn, put your foot down, shift again, all flat foot, close, and then brush, push. Okay, that may be just a beginner, but if you do yang form, you have to understand, you have to think completely different when you're starting to do our form, because the feet are supposed to be like suction cups. So they're even in terms of weight all the way around. It can be 70-30, but in order to do that, changing 70-30, you're doing more tucking here in the tailbone area. All right. So that's the very first thing. So you want to have the knee never straightened. So if the knee is to be bent in the back, now you have a suction cup and you can turn and get everything to work a little more relaxed. There's no bending, there's no looking down. So all of these things we tell you to start with in the 24 months, we need to utilize. One of the things that we were always taught here is to watch the back hand and then do it. Okay, so now if I had watched the back hand and your hand is here, there's no nose to navel. So you practice being able to see your hands with your nose to your navel. How do you do that? You do something that we call expanding. Your elbows are down, you do your best, drop the elbow, this is open, this is open, this is open, everything's soft and open, and you can see your hands without turning your head. So we would always have it here, because if you turn your head, somebody can whack you here, and you don't see it coming. So that is the nose to navel concept. Why do you do that? There are many other things that the young style people do. It's very hard in the beginning. It took me many years to undo a lot of the changes that I was trying to make with Master Ting, because I was 25 years ingrained in Yang forms and even in Chen form. Chen form, we just followed along with all the circles. If you notice how beautiful the Chen form is with all the circles, if you learn the basic movements and you get all the circles, you'll be great with Chen form. So one of the things we ask you to do, which has nothing to do with the Yang form, is when you pull up here, you pull up with the right, and so you're pulling up, but it's really like sucking in a straw, and then you make a turn and drop. When you drop here, you automatically turn. So you are not doing things with your hands like this. Everything is made with your body. It's really physics. Physics does all the work. So here we pull, and now we drop, and so we turn. Instead of going shift, sink, turn, there is no such thing as 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3. There's only one. Bruce Lee used to say, no 1, 2, only one. So you'd say 1, and that's how you would get there. So all would be done simultaneously. And so the other thing is, before you go to the next move, you want to make a small circle here. There's always a little circle at the end of each posture, so that now you do a circle. So you have your toes turning in, you have a circle, and now you drop, and now you're over here. And your knees are over your toe. So the important part that we haven't really, they always used to say your knee doesn't go over your toe. But that's all they talked about it, is when it was forward, nothing else. So we do something like here, but then this would be straight. So you would have to have your everything under the suction cup in order for you to have fluidity in your movement. Now these are not the movements, this is just to show you how your body is fluid. And I can turn this without turning my shoulder, because then my elbow's all out of alignment. I feel like Scarecrow here. So these are some of the different things that are different in Yang style. Chen style is low to the ground, and Bagua is low to the ground. So Bagua is very good. We talked earlier about your feet being alive. So you want to have your feet being alive. Oops, let's go a little further. Here, here. Why? Because everything is open and down. So you would practice here, here, here. Your feet are always alive. You can move around. If you're always doing straight leg, stiff, you won't be able to do that. You'll be up here. I'll remember how many times we tried. If you do this, this is tight, this is tight, hips are all tight. You want to have your whole body fluid like a snake. Yeah, you've seen a lot of those forms. Now, Master Ting is a master at not showing all of these little details. You don't want to show everybody what you know. However, if you're teaching, you really have to be, and I'm a much lower level by any means than he is, so you get to see what it is I'm actually doing. The fluidity, because I don't know how to hide it yet. I do loose, 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 and it's all because I have hollows. So hollows in your hands, hollow in your feet, and hollow in your chest. He says it over and over and over again. Every time, you have 3 hollows. Then you have, of course, hollows here. You have many other hollows, but those are the 3 hollows that are the main thing.